Morning all and welcome to Splash Lane, Castor near Peterborough on another glorious summer's morning, even though it's barely summer, but still wonderful weather. And the plan is to see if we can catch the rather special early marsh orchids that we saw here last year, but I'm going to try and catch them as they first emerge. Hopefully they have emerged, but I can't be sure till I get there. But if they have, then I'm going to see whether the unusual colour scheme that we saw last year is still prevalent when they're first opening, and that's the plan today. So fingers crossed that I don't end up with a bare field of nothingness, but that's what we're looking for, early marsh orchids. Dactylorhiza incarnata, subspecies incarnata. Incarnata meaning flesh coloured, which is what this is. This is your standard early marsh orchid colouring. Certainly in this part of the world it is flesh coloured, and I'm setting this one up as your baseline so I can show you the comparison with the other variation that we have here. I'm very impressed by how advanced these early marsh orchids are. Some of them, quite a lot of them, are going over already, and it's only mid-May, and that's crazy. But that's your standard flesh pink coloured incarnata form. Right, that's the rather wonderful sort of more purple coloured incarnata form, which is what it is. One or two said no, it's not an incarnata, but it is. This is all calcareous footings around here. These are all incarnata forms for sure. This is just an unusual colour. I thought they were a bit more blue than this last year, and maybe as they get older they do, I don't know, it might be just my memory, but they're certainly not flesh coloured. They are purple at the very least, and there is a purple form of the incarnata, but it's not supposed to grow in this area, so it's quite unusual. And about 60 to 70% of the 100 plus early marsh orchids in this field are this colour. It's not just the odd one, not just the odd unusual variation, they are all of that 60-70% of this colour. And yeah, it's a lovely version of the incarnata, very nice. It's amazing, these are genuinely going over, and yeah, it's just crazy. They shouldn't be going over yet, but they are. It's getting quite difficult to find any plants that have not started going over. A bit gobsmacked by this. There can only be one explanation, and that is the drought. We haven't seen rain here for a lot of weeks, and I think it's having an effect here. This is quite a wet field. Last season it certainly isn't wet today. I was in wellies this time last year. It's bone dry now. I think it's moved these along rather quicker or shortened their flowering period. I don't know what it is. It must be something to do with the drought. A couple here bucking the trend. There's a purple form here that's only just opening. No sign of that one going over. And nearby there's a standard flesh coloured incarnata form that is also only just opening. And then there's another one nearby that is well opened but not going over. Just made a strictly non-scientific count of the early marsh orchids in this field. I reckon there's between 300 and 350, and I reckon at least 85% now are of this purple form. The minority are the flesh coloured. Great to see them all. Fantastic turnout. Keep wandering around in the vain hope that I might find a white one or something similar. I didn't find one last year. I don't think I'll find one this year, so cute looking, but I doubt it. It's a real strange mixed bag. There are some early marsh in here that are completely browned off, gone, finished, kaput, finished flowering and browned off completely. There are others that are barely opening, and there are others in their prime. This one is somewhere, sorry, between opening and being in its prime. Very fresh looking, but yeah, very mixed bag in terms of where they're at. Look at that. That is ridiculous. That's, you know, 13th of May today. 13th of May. I didn't even think these early marsh would even be in flower yet. This one has flowered and finished. This must have been in flower 2 weeks ago. We must have been almost in April. That is crazy. Crazy early. Only just emerging. Just to be different from those that have completely gone over. Beautiful colouring, really is nice. Right, I think that's it. I don't want to shoot too many of exactly the same looking plant. Good to see early marsh orchids. One of my favourite early season orchids, and good to see them here. I only discovered this field last season thanks to a tip-off, and it's very much on my agenda now. I might have to come even earlier next year given what I've seen, but I think the drought is having an effect on them. And yeah, on the eastern side of the country where we are, I think the sort of early purples, green winged, and now early marshes have just about got through their growing and flowering before the drought really kicks in. We haven't had rain here for like 2 months now, and my concern is for the summer orchids, the dactylorizas, the common spotteds, heath spotted, southern marshes. They will have been growing in this drought period, and yeah, yet to see what the impact has been, but I'm a little bit concerned that they may suffer more than what we've seen so far this season. But as I say, good to see these, and thank you for joining me once again. Add your comments underneath the video if you've got any views on what we've just seen, and I'll definitely see you again probably this weekend. I think I've got Bedford Purlieu penciled in for Sunday, but it's going to be one of those everything I've got is going to be crossed because it's fly orchids, and we saw no fly orchids at all. I mean, as in zilch last season. But I'm going to try again, and then I might even brave the search for bird's nest orchids, which we did find last year, so you never know. So it's fly orchids and bird's nest orchids, and I'll be having a go at them at the weekend, and hopefully I'll see you then.